Hello, everybody. Welcome to Healing Waters Podcast, Journey Out of Abusive Relationships. And if you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. This podcast is about my journey within toxic, manipulative relationships and just the emotions that I felt. Hopefully, you can connect to these emotions if you are in an abusive relationship. It could bring some clarity and just to know that you're not alone in this process. And one thing that I might add is the one thing that did help me out of these cycles of abuse was God himself. He helped me see myself, see the situation for what it was. He helped me break some codependent strongholds. I stopped seeking validation in others. And yeah, God helped me walk out of those seasons of abuse. This poem that I will be going over today is Detach. And please go back and listen to the other podcast because they are in chronological order. And if you are interested in purchasing the book Healing Waters, it is in the description. Here we go. Detach. Separate from self, I no longer know who I am anymore. So this emotion is frequently expressed within toxic relationships where you just lose who you are. You don't know who you are. Even the morals and ethics and integrity that you swore that you would stand on is no longer there. Right? And you almost feel separate from your own. You feel separate from self. You get into a space and you look in the mirror like, who am I? What did I become? How did I get so low? How did I put myself in this box, right? And I am here to tell you that this is temporary. This is temporary, love. Every season in life has a purpose, and may you learn from this experience. Take what you need to know so that you're able to walk into the next season of your life. Exposed and bare, I wait on myself to arrive. So from a subconscious standpoint, you know you are better than this. You know you are stronger than this. You know how resilient you are. But for some reason, right, you are never able to arrive to that conclusion. You're never able to rise to that expectation. And so now we have to sit and ask ourselves, why is that? Why can't I rise to the expectation or to the point that I know I am capable of getting to? And there is one word. There is one word that I feel like we all grapple with in life, and it's fear. Maybe this person has instilled fear within you. Maybe you have a fear of letting go of the relationship. Maybe there is a fear, if you let go of the relationship, that you will sink financially, emotionally, mentally. Fears. We have to walk and trample over our fears. It's like the catalyst of life. You know, I feel like no matter what situation that you experience coming out of this toxic relationship, just the thought that you broke through that fear is like, it's worth it. It's so worth it, right? Unaware of reality. Unaware of reality. So you're in a situation, this person is being very manipulative, very in gaslighting you. And then in the midst of that, you have like pushed yourself in this like bubble. And you have like intentionally numbed yourself because you are in so many or in a season of pain. You have numbed yourself to the affliction before you, right? Just to get through the day, just to get up and get what you have to get done. The abuse no longer hurts you, the physical, financial, emotional. These things are not what hurt you. What is hurting you is the fact that you can't seem to get up and walk away. You can't seem to change the narrative before you. You feel stuck almost. And like I said, from a spiritual and subconscious mindset or point of view, it's like, why am I not able to move forward? Afraid to confront myself, I turn away from reconciliation. And when I wrote this, I was in a space of feeling like, how am I ever going to get to a place where I forgive myself? Forgive myself for wasting time. Forgive myself for falling into this dark pit. Forgive myself for allowing myself to be shamed, ridiculed, abandoned, abused, manipulated, gaslit, like anything that you want to call it, right? Abused, traumatized, right? How did I allow myself to get here? What am I dealing with inside of me that I would bear so heavy on another individual? And why can't I seem to let go? Do I have some codependency, issues with me that I need to address? Right? So yeah, self-reflection is definitely needed in this part of your healing journey. With missing puzzle pieces, I throw away the picture. Unaware of what it used to resemble, I lean into the new me. So, like I said previously in this video, you know who you are and what you are capable of. You know how strong you are. You know how resilient you are. You know the full picture. You know you. Right? But then somewhere down the line, you allowed yourself to fall for this toxic, unhealed person, right? A trauma bond was created. A soul tie, in a sense, was created. And now you have a hard time breaking away from, right? You could be in cycles where abuse, you have correlated it as love. And if you are in that cycle or situation, I am so sorry. A lot of times heavy conditioning comes with that mindset where a slap or a hit or, even from a financial, emotional, or spiritual standpoint, a bruteness is correlated with tough love. If I'm doing this because I love you. I'm like, really? It's hurting me, really helping me. It's hurting me physically, emotionally, mentally, putting me down, not speaking life into me, not pouring into me. How is that helping me? How is that helping me grow and become a better person? It's not. Okay? It's not. So we do need to do some reevaluation. Why can't you seem to let go? Where is the seed in the midst of this? Loneliness soon speaks. Unrecognizable. I accept this false identity. So lonely, you're lonely. And I say this because you could be lonely in a room full of people. You could feel lonely in a room full of people. And not recognize who you are in the midst of it, right? And then so you accept this false identity that this person has bestowed upon you. You are what they say you are. You have become what they wanted you to become. You have no free reign. You have no control. You have relinquished control to this person. And in the midst of it, you worship the ground that they walk on. You worship, that word worship, guys. Because a lot of these individuals have a grandiose type of mentality, which means it's like a God, I am God type of mentality. They want to be praised and worshipped. And if you step outside of that, guys, for those of you on this or listening to this podcast, we all know that God does not like idolatry. It's idolatry. When you worship people, and a person can be an idol, when you worship them, right? Anything they say and do, it doesn't matter. You kiss the feet that they walk, the ground that they walk on. That's worship, right? When you worship something, it's you worship them for who they are. It's like we worship God. I worship God for who he is. right? No matter what is going on in my life, I worship him. It doesn't matter. This person, you worship this person, good, bad, ugly, sunny outside, rainy outside. If he's abusing you, if he's not like, you're worshiping him. And for the women in this podcast, scripture says to submit to your husband. It doesn't say worship. We're not supposed to worship people, right? Put people on a God-like pedestal, right? Because for one, we cannot, human beings, which is why these individuals are like so like out of tune and out of touch with humanity, with emotions. We are not human beings. We are not conditioned to deal with or to receive worship. God, who is holy, right? We worship him. We worship him. It's glory. He's glorious. Like, we can go back into scripture and we could study and look at, Lucifer and Satan, and he wanted to be glorified, and it's almost like it went to his head. He couldn't handle it, and he just started to act irrationally. Okay, it's like we cannot handle glory. All right, kind of went off on a tangent. I'm sorry, guys. Afraid to rise above my hurt. Afraid to rise above my hurt. So you're in a sunken place, and a lot of times you have this victim mentality. Like, I'm hurt, I'm down here, I'm hurt. Like, no one, can you see me? Can you see me? Can you see me? It's like, yeah, we can see you. Okay. And I talk to the individuals who do have like a support system, friends, family, who are like on the outside looking in and telling you like, hey, it's time to leave. You have to get up and leave. You have to do something, right? This is not healthy, especially if you have children involved. No, like, you don't want your children to see this and to be also conditioned and traumatized and have to grow up trying to fill that void and repaint that narrative and relearn or even learn what love is, because they have been confused about what it truly is, because they're looking back on what you showed them. Like, we have to look at our babies. We have to look at our children. So let your children be your motivator to step and walk away, right? Let them be the encouragement that you need to step forward. I abandoned who I once was to replace it with a figment of my imagination. So once again, you become what they say you are. You abandon who you once was to become who they want you to become. But because it's not who you truly are, you're literally screaming from the inside out. You're screaming. It's like a silent scream, right? Like, imagine you walking around portraying to be someone who you are not. And so then there's like an identity crisis. And I have seen, like, in abusive relationships, so people have this like identity crisis, like, who am I? Who am I? It could lead to other like mental health crises in the midst of you trying to heal, right? Because you're trying to get back to your old self, and then from a spiritual, emotional, mental standpoint, but then this person over here is telling you, no, you're this. And so what's happening is you're like swaying between the two. But like, how long can you sway? Like, we really have to start thinking about these things. Like I said, guys, my heart goes out to those who are listening to this, who are in the midst of abusive relationships, whether that is like intimate or even family dynamics. Keep praying through it. Keep praying through it. And I hope and I pray that this has blessed you. Just knowing that, like, you're not going through this alone. Like, I understand what you're going through. I understand it's not necessarily easy to break away from those who we love. But I know God is always doing something new. And if your spirit is beckoning and calling you to take a step forward, then maybe it's time. Definitely seek help. You have like domestic violence organizations and things like that in the midst of what you are going through, because, you know, we do want to stay safe. Like I said, definitely make a plan going forward. Be careful. I know everybody's situation and dynamics are exceedingly different. So I just want to say, like, be careful and stay encouraged. And hope, like I said, hopefully this has helped you. And go on my page. I have prayers as well. I do believe prayers is like the strongest weapon that we could fight the enemy with. So definitely tune into those. And if you do like purchase my book, thank you so much. Like, once again, it's called Healing Waters. It's on Amazon. God bless you. And I will see you on the next video. Okay. Bye-bye.